Hey folks, and welcome to part 2 of going through and culturing some bacteria. You'll notice this part is called inoculation, where we introduce the bacteria to the broth that you folks had set up yesterday. The steps that we see here, not necessarily in a sterile like hood environment, but if we keep our lids pretty close and going through the steps that you see here, I think we should be a-okay. So what you'll need to assemble for this little lab part is an inoculation loop. You'll see that in the top drawers of the lab cabinets. You open them up, and they got like this little loopy thing. Looks like that. Grab yourself your sterile nutrient. It should come out of the autoclave and in your little jars. And then a jar of sterile water. And then a tea light from the top drawers of the lab cabinets as well. The other stuff you see here, you will grab as we kind of go through this. So just kind of wait and I'll introduce them as we come to it. Once you have these 4 things at your desk and you're ready and you got your partner next to you, touch base with your teacher and have him come on over, or and then they will get you a match. Now, Mr. Markart likes to use the strike anywhere matches that we see here because he gives a little bit more control to be able to give one match at a time and then a surface just for students to strike on, as opposed to giving you a lighter and sitting for hours on end just flicking the lighter and starting things on fire. Hopefully this helps take care of some of that. When Mr. Markart or your teacher comes and gives you a match and a box or a surface to strike, keep in mind that a strike everywhere match needs to have contact with both the white tip and the phosphoric edge. So instead of going like this, you're not going to make any strike. Going like this, not going to make any strike. It's the 45-degree angle that you're looking for. You'll make a hard strike across and light your tea light. Oh, try again. Aha! There we go. Grabbing that. When that's done, you can put that into your wastewater provided. That way there's no more fires. You've got your tea light, sterile water, sterile nutrient, and your inoculating loop. It's called an inoculating loop. It's because we're supposed to grab our bacteria with the loop end and be able to introduce it into our sterile nutrient. To get there first, because right now there's probably some bacteria on this loop already, and we want to make sure that we're only introducing the bacteria we want and not bacteria from around places. So you're going to sterilize the loop by going through the fire until it's glowing red and then into the sterile water. So what I'm going to do is just going to kind of pop my sterile water just a little bit. So the lid's a little loose, so I'm ready. And I'm going to take my loop and I'm going to put it into the fire. Oh yeah, notice the redness. I'm going to put it back in again. Just try to get us up to that temperature. Once it's red hot, toss it into the sterile water. That gets it to room temp. And I'm just going to leave it there for a sec. It's my sterile environment. I'm going to go to my bacteria sample of whatever I selected for my hypothesis. So if it's sample from Walter's tank, from the tank in the front of the room, from Big Blue, or another different bacteria sample, you'll select that. I've got the sample here, so the magic of the camera can be right in front of you. So I'm going to take my inoculating loop. Okay, I'm going to slightly pop open my sterile nutrient, so it's just a little open. And I'm going to take my inoculating loop. I'm just gonna rub on the sample. Just make contact, kind of dance around it a little bit. Take my sterile nutrient, pop it in there, kind of wave it around a little bit, and cap it. All right, we've done an inoculation. Congratulations. Now on to the cleanup cleanup part, because right now we do have bacteria still on our little end, and we need to sterilize that as well. After we've introduced our bacteria or inoculated our broth, we're gonna take our what's called day 0 data, day 0, to see what it looked like before the series of days when the bacteria start multiplying and start becoming cloudy. So we want to take a reading of what it looks like first for the first day, which would be day 0, using our measurement of turbidity. So you'll be able to grab these strips from either Mr. Markart or your teacher, and what these strips will do is, again, tell us how cloudy a solution is based on how many squares we can see through it. And that's what turbidity is, a measure of cloudiness. So as you can notice here, I've got my liquid, a little tough on the camera angle, I know, but as I put it through, I'm looking to see how many squares I can be able to count through this bottle. And obviously, I mean, this is a pretty clear container. Don't be surprised if you can see all 5 squares, or even 4 out of 5. That would be acceptable. But then you'll write that number down on your day 0 for your qualitative data and be able to set that on in. Once you've got your day 0 data, you're going to take your sterile nutrient, or now not sterile, definitely inoculated, has bacteria in it, and you're going to put that into the incubator. The loop, however, is going to have to go back into the fire, back into the sterile water, and then we can hang it to dry. So again, I'm going to put it through the fire. Again, we're heating this up so we can kill anything that's on there until it's glowing red. Put it in the sterile water. That way it brings it down to room temp, but it's still sterile. And then this guy can go onto a drying rack. The sterile water can be dumped out. Tape can be thrown away, and this just be hung to dry. You don't have to clean that part up. And then your light should be able to be extinguished. Neat. Again, sterile nutrient goes in the incubator. And now you have inoculated some bacteria.